Foden's going to score 20 goals next season. Put that on the table now. And I honestly believe, as good as all these players are, and as some of them are going to be end up at the top of the game, I think Phil Foden will go further than any of them. I think, he has a ridiculous level.
Right, lads, it has been a mad season, right? But one thing that you cannot deny is we have seen some brilliant young talent. Now, what I want from each of you, too many people sit on the fence too often. At the end of this video, I want you to all tell me a name, one name, no sitting on the fence, who has been the best young player this season in the Premier League.
I'd be a fool if I didn't mention Phil Foden. The only problem Phil Foden has had is he's not played quite as much football. So
he's quality.
But Foden, since the lockdown, he's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like bullied Liverpool, literally one of the best teams in world football. Like, it used to be that he would come on, he'd be a little bit nervous, a bit shy, but now he's actually running games. Like, alongside De Bruyne, he's been just ridiculous.
Do you think next season, is it going to be his season? Is Foden going to actually play?
Foden's going to score 20 goals next season. Put that on the table now. And I honestly believe, as good as all these players are, and as some of them are going to be end up at the top of the game, I think Phil Foden will go further than any of them. I think, he has a ridiculous level.
We got a couple at Arsenal that have been doing really well. I think Saka has been an unbelievable talent, 18 years old. Loads of assists. He plays like he's about 25, 26. He plays like a senior player. I can't believe for such a kid.
I want him at City. I just want him at City. He's quality Saka.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he's absolutely quality. Yeah, given the fact he's 18 as well, and he's got that much ability already. And he's got a few assists this season already, hasn't he?
Generally, double figures assists.
Double figures assists.
Yeah, that's ridiculous for an 18-year-old.
He is very good. But Mason Greenwood in his breakthrough season, I think he's got 16 goals in all competitions, 9 in the Premier League.
Record breaking.
And not many starts. He's only just been starting games post-lockdown. And he's been absolutely phenomenal. And I'll tell you what, if you're talking about the most natural footballer on the eye, skill, precision, shooting with both feet, striking the ball clean, you don't even know what foot he is. He don't even know what foot he is.
Can I just interject onto Foden, right-footed goal, he's left-footed against Liverpool, quality of the 1-2. That was
Foden, technically, I think, is a fantastic player. But when we're talking about the best out of this young crop, and it's, you know what? Really, we should be celebrating all of them because they're fantastic.
Yeah. I'm celebrating all of them.
But Manchester, we have an absolute gem. You spoke about who's like kind of the ceiling or who's going to go furthest. And Foden, I agree. I think he can reach the top.
But just for that definitive answer, I kind of agree with you, Flex. It's hard to argue with the brilliance of Mason Greenwood, but I'm going to do it. Christian Pulisic. My issue with bringing him into this conversation is because he's so experienced. So when we're talking about young players, he is a young player, but he's a very experienced footballer. And he's 21 years old. He's the best player America have ever produced. So who is the most overhyped of all of these players?
Overhyped. Do you know what I was really excited for, but he's let me down, so he should apologise, really. Hudson-Odoi, I thought he was going to be absolutely quality. And given the fact that he was rated almost at the same level as Sancho, and I watched him even tear City's U teams apart in the cup final stuff, he's just not happened for him, has it? Where's it? All that battling with Bayern Munich and all the contract negotiations.
£100 a week.
Yeah, and he's underwhelmed.
It's really upset.
Because he's good, he should be good, but he's just not happened,
It's not happened for him at all, Hudson-Odoi. It's mildly worrying, actually. It's quite concerning. Yeah. He kind of held the club to ransom.
Can you not deal with the hype? Can you just not deal with it or something like that? He doesn't seem like a bad lad or anything, does he?
The thing is, look, it's not a bad person, but he didn't treat the club necessarily with the respect that a lot of people
especially when he hadn't made it yet. Like he only had a few little glimpses.
I think Bayern Munich came in and really turned his head, and he's never really found that form again. Everyone's
always excited by the shiny new thing, and it's Greenwood and Foden and Gilmour and whatever. And Madison's like, I'm dead young and I'm scoring goals and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not. It's almost like he's yesterday's news already to an extent, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But then I guess Grealish came along as well, didn't he, a bit? And it's like it's just been Grealish thing, and now it's Foden. And
that's my argument sometimes when you're in those sort of clubs. If Madison was playing for Arsenal, Man United, one of those, maybe he'd be getting more ratings.
He's been at Leicester performing quite consistently until after lockdown, and then he's been injured as well, hasn't been able to return.
I rate him.
He's been putting up big numbers on the board, did it last season too. Yeah. I do think he's a good player, he's tidy, but I prefer Jack Grealish to him though. Billy Gilmour?
Look, Billy Gilmour's brilliant. Lampard and Morris love him. They really do rate him highly. So highly, in fact, that Jorginho seemed to be expendable. And Jorginho is obviously a very good player. There was a time when City were desperate to get his signature.
It's just about to happen.
And Billy Gilmour has made it very difficult for him to get in the Chelsea team. I think the future is bright for him. He's got all of the attributes, both feet, great weight to pass on him. You know what would be tricky for him though? He's so lightweight. He makes me look like a tall man.
Yeah,
that's not even a joke. He's genuinely smaller than me.
Yeah.
He's a professional athlete. It's not going to be easy for him, but
people might say they're overrated, but only because they're at small clubs, that have been a relegated club. That's Max Aarons, right back at Norwich. I think he's an outstanding player, even though they've been relegated.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what he'd be like in a top team. And Cantwell as well.
There's a few lads that, Cantwell's
overrated. What do you think?
No, I think he's a good player. I think we have this obsession like if someone's great or not, and I think he's just a good player who could be good with a little bit of luck and some good coaching. I imagine something like Klopp would do a really good job with him, because he's all energy and he's all kind of bombast and that. But someone will pick him up.
I know I said Premier League, but I'm going to change the rules. Let's have a little chat about Sancho. What do you think?
He's quality. He's top quality. The one thing that it bodes well for England, because you think the Euros now are going to be taking place next year.
Yeah, so exciting.
How are we going to mess this up?
Foden, Saka, Greenwood.
Might be too many youngsters going through it once.
It's the golden
generation. Who gets into the
golden generation?
Who gets into the England team out of that proper young England players?
England literally need Foden.
I'd play all of them. I think that.
Would you play all of them?
I don't think Southgate will, but I think that every player that we've mentioned here deserves to be in and around the England team next year, as long as their form continues, obviously.
100%.
But yeah, I think in the spirit of democracy, everybody now has to put their cards on the table. Rob.
Saka. Sticking with my boy.
Steve.
Foden.
Come on then.
Saka.
Do you know what? that gives me the deciding vote, and I think I'm going to have to agree. It's Mason Greenwood. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Will you please do us a favour? Make sure that you click the subscribe button if you liked it, give us a like, and make sure you comment below with your suggestions. We will all be checking them out.